Eran, 2 years in a row. Once again, thank you for joining me
Happy to be here.
on our breakout panel. And it was a very, very good one. We had a lot of great conversations. We had a lot of good points that were made. But I'm curious to ask you, because I have a few in my head, but what were some of the top 2 or 3 takeaways that you've had from that session?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the interest in AI, if we can talk
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably everywhere.
Yeah.
But we talked a lot about kind of finding that right balance between how much can you automate, how much should you automate, how much should you try to automate, and where that kind of human touch comes in. And I think it was pretty apparent everybody in the room seemed to be on the same page around there are levels to it that we certainly expect it to drive the operational efficiency, but it's never going to replace that human touch.
Yep.
And so I think that is probably 1A and 1B for me. Some of the other pieces that I would look at were around embracing technology. Yeah. So AI is a part of that technology footprint, but we talked a lot about homogenizing technology.
Yeah.
There are plenty of ways out there right now where people have not solved every problem, but solved the majority of problems, and that sometimes introduces new operational problems. And so how do we look at making sure we've got the right technology in the right place that's talking to each other, so that we're looking at something that's actionable and accessible, probably even more so than actionable. We can consolidate as much as possible, but then how do we make it actionable?
Absolutely. And I know you heard me say this a lot. People, process, and technology. They don't operate by themselves. They have to integrate and work the best. And I think one of the key takeaways that I really, I would say that stuck out to me, being in investor relations, is the fact that when we said that 80% of reporting is going to be replaced by AI within 5 years, and the key theme out of that, which you rightly mentioned, is that you cannot replace that human-to-human interaction.
Yeah.
I mean, as fun as it would be for you to be talking to a clone of me right now, there's just something about getting in a room, being able to speak, being able to shake somebody's hand. And I don't think that's ever going to change in our industry. I think it's still going to be needed. And also what I love that Stephanie said in our session is that the LPs want returns. They want high returns with good returns. That's always the basis of every investment. Yes, technology is great. Yes, it is helpful. And yes, it does make life easier. But at the end of the day, LPs want return and want high returns. And that's going to be one of the key driving factors to getting them back into other funds that the GPs are launching.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting off that summit or that panel as well of the returns it's there in good times, and then that relationship, and that's why that 20% is so hard to automate is it's not always, returns aren't always there.
Yep.
And how do we make sure that the LPs aren't running for the exits? And there's like a certain level of trust, and I think a lot of that was probably the most profound takeaway for me, which was probably easier for other people to know beforehand, but that implicit trust that's earned up front.
Yes.
And that commitment of these LPs aren't naive to the commitment they are making.
Yes.
And we see a lot of effort in that first touch point and the marketing and the due diligence and all of the education that is going on up front with the LP, and that earns a certain right not to have bad returns forever. I'm not saying that that's an option necessarily, but that when times are hard, there's a trust factor, and that partner part of LPGP is probably underscored.
Limited partner, exactly, And to close out, I think you've said it best multiple times, Ned, that people buy from people. Yeah. They're not going to buy from AI. You saw what Sadrack 2.0 did to me in there, left me hanging in the whole session. Sadrack 2.0, if you're listening, I want to have a conversation with you. But people buy from people, and that relationship is a key aspect of everything we do, whether it is in the financial sector or it is in investor relations or it is in these conversations. So great points, great takeaways. And of course, once again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me anytime.
Always good to have you.